Grier doesn't blink unless there's a reason. He doesn't breathe without a blueprint. So when Zach Wilson's contract hit the books in a way that makes zero sense on the surface, it wasn't just a quirky cap move. It was a signal, a flare shot into the sky. Something is coming, and it's not small. Zach Wilson, a one-year rental, gets a deal that dumps $3.8 million in dead cap into 2026. Why? Why burn a compensatory pick? Why eat future money for a guy who might not even be on the roster by Halloween? You don't do that unless you're clearing the deck for something else, something that needs space, something that needs silence before it explodes. And now suddenly, there's $21 million in cap space sitting there. Just sitting. Waiting. That's not a cushion. That's a launch pad. So what's the move? What's the play? Let's talk about the possibilities. And none of them are subtle. Trey Hendrickson. That name doesn't just pop up for no reason. The man's a machine. Back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons. He's not just consistent, he's terrifying. And Miami's defensive line? It's a skeleton crew. Sealer's the only real anchor. Benito Jones? Let's not pretend he's more than a rotational guy. You bring in Hendrickson, and suddenly the line has teeth. Real teeth. But this isn't just about plugging a hole. This is about leverage. You get Hendrickson, and now you walk into the draft with options. You don't have to reach for a pass rusher at 13. You don't have to panic if your guy gets sniped. You can sit back and let the board fall. BPA becomes a real strategy, not just a talking point. And yeah, it'll cost you. Probably pick 98 or something close. And yeah, you'll have to pay him. But that's the beauty of what Grier just did. That cap space. It's not for show. It's for this. Front load the bonus, back load the hit. And next year, when Tyreek or Ramsey is gone, boom, you absorb the rest. But let's not kid ourselves. This move probably ends the Jaelan Phillips era. 2 major injuries in a year? That's not a trend. That's a pattern. Hendrickson's older, sure, but he's reliable, durable. And right now, Miami needs certainty more than potential. Still, that's just one path. George Kittle. Yeah, that's right. Let that sink in. Because if you think it's crazy, you're not paying attention. San Francisco's on the edge. They've got to pay Purdy. They've got to retool. And Kittle, he's 32, expensive, and on the final year of his deal. If they're going to move him, it's now or never. And Miami? Miami is the perfect landing spot. McDaniel loves him. Embry coached him. The system fits. The locker room fits. The city fits. But here's the real kicker. Tyreek Hill. We all saw what happened. That playoff game. That wasn't just a bad day. That was a fracture. And maybe it's healed. Maybe it's not. But if the Dolphins are even thinking about moving on, they need a counterpunch. Kittle is that punch. He's not Hill. He won't take the top off a defense. But he'll give you 70 catches, 800 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He'll block like a lineman and catch like a wide out. He's a weapon. A real one. And if you pair him with Waddle, a chain Jonnu Smith, you've still got firepower. You've still got versatility. And if you find a WR2 in the draft or via trade, you're right back in the mix. But again, this isn't cheap. You trade for Kittle. You extend him. You restructure. You make the cap hit small now and balloon it later. And you wait until after June 1st to move Tyreek. It's messy, but it's doable. And it makes sense. Still not convinced something's happening? Jaire Alexander. Now we're talking chaos. This one's risky. This one's volatile. But it's also classic Grier. Alexander is elite when he's on the field. But that's the problem. He's barely on the field. For games in 2021. 7 in 2023. 7 in 2024. That's not just bad luck. That's a trend. That's a liability. But Grier doesn't flinch at injuries. He never has. He sees value where others see red flags. And Alexander, if healthy, gives Miami a shutdown corner to pair with whoever survives the offseason. The contract. Ugly. Needs work. But again, that's what this cap space is for. You restructure. You front load. You gamble. And maybe you lose. Maybe he misses another half season. But maybe, just maybe, you get 14 games of lockdown coverage. Maybe you get a Pro Bowl season. Maybe you steal a top 5 corner for pennies on the dollar. That's the game Grier plays. High risk, high ceiling, and right now the board is set. So what's it going to be? Hendrickson gives you teeth in the trenches. Kittle gives you balance on offense. Alexander gives you a shot at fixing the secondary. And maybe it's none of them. Maybe it's someone we're not even talking about. That's the thing with Grier. He doesn't leak. He doesn't tip his hand. He just moves. But make no mistake, a move is coming. You don't structure Wilson's deal like that unless you're clearing space for something real. You don't eat dead money in 2026 unless you're betting on 2025. This isn't about rolling over cap space. This isn't about flexibility. This is about aggression. This is about making a run. Because the window, it's not wide open. It's cracked. And Grier knows it. He's not waiting. He's not hoping. He's acting. So buckle up. Because whatever's coming, it's not small. It's not safe. And it's not going to wait. Something is happening in South Florida. And it's going to hit hard.